Hi guys and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Superbike 22. We return now to the circuit of Assen for round 2 of our championship. It's time for the Superpole race and then for race 2. So here we go then guys, from pole position. The heart rate's high because we need to fight back. I recorded this one after race 1 and you know that was pretty intense. So now it's time to fight back and do the business here in the Superpole session. So, to the right-hand side for the hardbot then for turn 1. Axel Bassani got the brilliant start, a little bit better than we did from pole positions. I'm going to try and fight back into the Ossenbroken corner. Not quite possible for turn 3, but you know what I'm looking at. That's the change of direction for here for Struber for turn 5, up on the inside. The BMW goes back to the front. Now, if you missed yesterday's video, I'll try not to spoil too much, but I will say, go and watch it because it was well worth it. It was a brilliant battle and of course very, very intense. So I am about to spoil it, so please leave if you don't want to hear it now. But we did in fact blow it in the previous race. I really made a big mistake going into De Bolt and unfortunately lost our podium chances. I do not want that to happen here on board the BMW here in Assen. Now Assen is probably my favourite, one of my favourite, if not the favourite track I've got in Superbike 22. We know we're competitive in the likes of Most and Assen and Estoril and even Misano as well. But for here in Assen, I do love this circuit and it's probably the one track I felt really strong at the most, or at least to start our momentum off for the last championship. So, up into the top positions. We're already dropping down to power setting 2. Got to try and balance that fuel here in the long races and even in the short races here in Assen. So, into the change direction now for turn left for 17, back over to turn right for the right-hander for turn 18. Across the line, still ahead by about a tenth from Axel Bassani. We were ahead, is he still gonna? No, thankfully not. We do hold the line and stay ahead of Bassani going into Harbach. Now I want to give a quick shout out to Sergio23. I don't know if you've noticed, but the helmet has changed ever so slightly since the Aragon GP. We've got a slightly different colour scheme to match with the BMW M1000RR. So Sergio, it hasn't gone unnoticed. Thank you for making the revamped look of the DrAce helmet. Probably one of the best helmets I've seen that Sergio's created for me. So big thank you to our Belgian ace. But back to the action. Heart rate is a little bit all over the place at the moment. Feel quite intense, quite stressed for this one because I know how much it means to be competitive here in Assen. And with the BMW, I'm desperate to make it work. We kind of made it work in Aragon. Apart from a few smaller mistakes, we did manage to attain a podium in the Superpole session. So, into De Bolt then for the left-hand side. It's such a difficult corner. Can't ever seem to get it right. This time using the D1 with the SCQ tyre. The bike feels pretty good, but I'm a little bit concerned with how much tyre we've already burned with the soft option front and the extremely super soft SCQ on the rear. So Bassani's still in the lead. Going to try and fight back going into the gear timber chicane. I think we get the job done, but we might need the assistance of power setting 3. So firm on the anchors we'll go. Right Alpine Stars boot as we cut the corner a little bit. Onto the rumble strip. Lost a little bit of time there in that change of direction. Probably should have prepared with the third power setting option. It's a 133.935 for Axel Bassani. The stress level's high in this one as the red colour comes up for the heart rate monitor. 134 at this stage of the Superpole session. So the penultimate lap now. This is where things are going to really make the most difference here. If we get a good lap and we stay ahead of Bassani, we should be in an excellent chance to winning this Superpole session. Now on the flip side from that, if we don't get past Bassani, things could be looking pretty bleak. I'm using power setting 3, which I don't really want to be using at this stage of the race. I want to save it all for the final lap. But here in the penultimate for the Wienschlang, the back over to the left. We're not quite closing in on Bassani as quickly as I would have wanted to. Championship rival behind us in the form of Alvaro Bautista. Leandro Mercado having a fantastic race there in 5th place. And the first time we've seen a Kawasaki this weekend in the form of Jonathan Ray down in 6th position. So race 1 in Aragon looked to be decent for the BMWs, but not as good as it was for the Superpole and then for the eventual race 2. And it seems to be that Michael van der Mark is moving his way up through the pack. Up to 8th place goes the fellow BMW rider. So into turn 12 then, we're not closing that gap in. The rear tyre is beginning to struggle, especially for the right hand side going into turn 10. Felt like I was really losing a lot of ground, so this one's going to be one hell of a lap if we aim to close down the number 47. So into the left-hand side. Oh, nice and tight to the apex. Be sure to subscribe if you're enjoying the content so far, because we are the fastest man on track. A 1:33.071 on the penultimate lap of the Superpole session. It's going to go down to the wire. Bassani on the Ducati. BMW with me. Who's it going to be? Rhyming accidentally. Who's going to be standing on the top step of the podium here in Assen? So, can I get close enough for turn 5? It's not going to be enough. But with the aid of power setting 3, get in the slipstream if we can. It's going to be difficult though. The really dreaded corner's coming up in a moment, so the Wienschlang is a nervy one. To the right hand side we'll go. Downshift, not too aggressively. You can hear the bike screaming in the high revs in the 4th gear. Oh, no, no, no! Whoa! Caught on the rumble strip. Heart rate flies to 156. As that was a bit scary. Now into DeBolt, my dreaded left-hander. Just not confident into this corner. Downshifting too prematurely there has cost us time. I don't think it's going to happen. Bassani has got this one done. The first time a satellite rider will win this season. Rinaldi, Vieje and Bautista are the only 3 victors of these rounds so far. Getting caught on the rumble strip, bouncing across on the curb. We've definitely lost the chance for victory, but Bautista, he's with him with a 10th now. There he is up on the inside temporarily, but I think we are going to be able to hold on to the fantastic 2nd place. But look at us trying. Oh, I've got the corner. Oh, is that a penalty? I think we're all right, but that was a big mistake. That was unintentional. I do confess, but unfortunately, it's only a 2nd place finish for us when I really, desperately wanted the victory here today. Never fear, we still have another race coming up very, very soon. So this time, starting from 2nd place, a small rest and small respite, and now it's time to fight back against Axel Bassani and the other 24 riders on the grid. So up on the inside, can we hard brake? We can. Defend nicely into Harbot, we've got the lead. Brilliant start, exactly what we were looking for at the stages of this Grand Prix. Race 2, lap 1, that means we've got 6 or 7 more, I guess, or 6.5 more laps to go to see if we can actually acquire a victory with the BMW M1000RR. It seems that every time we get close, something stops us. Just something small, just something gets in the way, either a mistake of mine or some of the riders just a little bit superior. But bear in mind, this is the 6th race that we've been on board the BMW. And it's boding well for us, I will say. It is looking rather promising with the German manufactured bike. This time around, the D1 front tyre and the SCX rear tyre. So soft option front and rear, but this one has got more of a focus on the corner entry speeds with the D1 tyre. The SC1's more based on the hard braking zones. So we are going to struggle in the likes of DeBolt and some of the other corners as well, but the turning and the gentle trail braking is where it's going to feel better with the D1. So now, to the right-hand side, do not touch that curb, ladies and gentlemen. If you're following any of my guides, I'll always tell you to avoid the curb in turn 12 there, so thankfully we're able to avoid it there. So now into Ramshoek for turn 15. This will already be 1 lap concluded here in Assen. Plenty more to go though, so there's still lots to do. Lots more to defend as Axel Bassani is taking up screen real estate at the bottom of our picture there. So now back onto the brakes again. Heart rate is still quite high, but relatively tame compared to what we've just seen in the Superpole session a moment ago. So Magic for turn 2, and now for the right-hand side for Ossenbroken for another right-hander before we go back onto the left-hand side of the tyre in about a couple. Oh, Axel Bassani, he's wanting to get through. Still no invitation for the number 47. He's already won a race. Now it's my time. I want to finish on the top step of the podium, and no better place to do it than here in Assen, the cathedral of motorsport. Oh, a little bit deep there into the Wienschlang. Puts you in a tough predicament for the turn 7 corner for the Russian hook, as we now go back over to Steckenwald for turn 8. DeBolt is approaching that dreaded turn 9. Here we go. Can we get it right this time? Hard on the brakes will go. Not bad, not bad. A little bit better than what we have been doing in the Superpole session and even in the first race. Now I know that's my weakness, and I know where I need to defend. So if it comes down to it, that's where we've got to go all out into DeBolt to play the master defensive strategy. But for now, oh, getting caught on the curb there. I thought we were going to have an experiment of how bouncy the suspension can be with the BMW. So now for the left-hand side, this is going to conclude lap 2. This one is just flying by. Seems every single time I look at the lap time, we're already closer to finishing this Grand Prix. Across the line, we are the fastest temporarily, but Garrett Gerloff there in 8th place on board the Yamaha. The American looking quite strong on board the former bike that he was riding, of course now on BMW in real life. As we go back over to the right-hand side, down to power setting 2. A little bit deep there for turn 3. Will Bassani pounce? Not yet. Bassani is being quite patient at this stage of the Grand Prix. I had a feeling he would try and get past me and start really chucking in some fast lap times, but I think he's quite content to wait behind. And there's a name we've not seen in the podium battle for a while. Jonathan Ray, the Kawasaki man, up into 3rd place. Will he do his British compatriot a favour here and get ahead of Bassani? But then again, he did me no favours when we were fighting together in Kawasaki, so I'm not expecting any here right now. Bautista down to 4th, that's good to see. Keeps our championship alive and keeps it very entertaining as we run it deep for the debult corner. Bassani tries to fight back, but there we go. Got to give him some elbows. Elbows, feet, shoulders, everything. Give it him back if we don't want him to get through. Defending well as we go into the 11th corner there for the Duca Saluta. Now back over to turn 12 as we straighten the bike up. Alright, good. Still hanging on. The tension is high here in Assen. Defending all the time as a victory is a potential for us. A possible glint in the distance. We could be having our first victory, our first 25 points here in Superbike 22 with the BMW. Firm on the brakes there. Look at it skipping across the track there. 0.3 of a second separates us to the number 47. Bassani still in pursuit of this possible victory. He's already won one today. Gotta make sure we defend and get this one done. Now with the Kawasaki it was more of a rookie season, so we had nothing to prove. But this year with the BMW, I feel like we've got everything to prove. Factory ride, we've got to make sure we do it. A lot of pressure, a lot of fan support from you guys as well. We've got to make sure this is going to be a great season, and what a great way to start it off by winning the 6th race of the season. I'm feeling confident though. The bike is not as easy to ride as a Kawasaki, but I do very much enjoy it. It certainly puts the pressure on and makes me work hard for a potential victory. And what I will say is from playing MotoGP 22, and that was a doddle, this one is some fierce competition. Thank goodness for Superbike 22. So into turn 10. A little bit deep there, I don't know if you remember, but oh, never mind about that, we'll go down memory lane later, because Bassani, he's gone up at the inside and he's taken over at the front. Alright then, what can we do? We cannot afford to give this one up again. I already named yesterday's title as the I Blew It. I don't want to be mentioning it again. Double I Blew It could be incoming here. I don't want that to happen. So into the gear, Timmy Chicane. Got to get the quick change of direction. That's a slow. I don't know about that. Didn't look like we used it that much, but okay. Metaphorical slap on the wrist as we're fast down the straight into the Harbot corner for turn 1. Didn't really look like I cut the corner there, but okay. If the game says so, I'll accept that. Got 4 more of those abusing, and then we'll get a penalty. But for now, we are back into the lead. Gently bring on the acceleration for the SCX tyre. You can see the right hand side of the tyre is slipping and it is beginning to struggle. Now one thing I neglected to mention in the first race in yesterday's video was actually I was using a different DualShock 4 controller, and it was only till I started playing around with the controller I realised that there was a small dead zone in the right trigger. So a lot in that video I was sort of accelerating quite abruptly or not feeling the acceleration correctly. It was rather strange, but here in Superpole session of race 2 I'm back to my preferred control, and it's made a massive difference, especially on the acceleration side. The braking still a little bit uneasy going into debult as you just saw, but you can see the acceleration is a lot better. Now getting to a point where the acceleration is going to be more difficult because of the SCX tyre getting pushed and pushed and pushed. So I'm still on my best behaviour, but I will assure you, pick the right controller if you're going to be playing Superbike 22, because the smallest difference can make a massive difference for the serious competitive nature of the Superbike riders. But now into the gear timber chicane after that little bit of a mention is done and dusted. We're using power setting 3 as we now get across the line. The fastest man on circuit. Oh, only temporarily. Alvaro Bautista, 133.105. The 19 goes up to the fastest spot of the lap times, but he's still down in 4th place. Is he going to be contesting with Jonathan Rea for that 3rd spot? I guess we'll not know because we are too busy focusing on the action at the front. And if you look at the graphic on the left hand side there, down in the bottom left, you'll see the map. Every single rider is in contention for a victory in this one. Look how close we all are. Just one rider at the back there into Strubben is still struggling, but the rest, it's one massive snake. And I think I love that about Superbike 22. Just a massive combination of riders all trying to win, as you see Bassani sneaking up on the inside, just showing a wheel, letting us know he's still there. It's going to be massive pressure for the final lap here. Absolutely massive pressure. Will it be insurmountable? I guess we'll find out, but I guess what isn't insurmountable is you clicking the like and subscribe button. Now's a great time to do so, because I don't think you'll get a chance to even look at the subscribe button for the next lap. Here we go. Just one more incredible lap here in Assen. We've got one more attempt of defending against Bassani. One more attempt at getting the first victory here in the Dutch GP. Change direction, that's good. That's pretty bad. That's much better compared to what we did in the previous lap. And across the line, it's not an improvement, but it's still relatively decent. And we did lose quite a bit compared to lap 5, but here we go into the right-hander. The one overtaking spot that I was concerned about, and that is turn 1. We defend against Bassani. We now have the lead, or still are in the lead. 2 tenths, 10th and a half. What's it going to be when we go into Strubben? Into the left-hander, still a 10th and a little bit. Heart rate up to 140 now, ladies and gentlemen. As the gap is just building ever so slightly. I've been saving the tyres. I've been saving the fuel for this one. It should just be all power setting 3, all lap. The right-hand side of both the D1 and the SEX has gone. It has just disappeared now. So it's down to this. That dreaded Dipple corner. It's approaching fast. We've got to make sure we brake nice and early and just hold on to the position. Into the left. Downshifting a bit too early. Bassani fights. No. Oh, fight him back. Do not let Bassani through. The Bassani defence is on. The 47 versus the number 11. Just going at it. 2 titans here in the Assen GP. We're just doing everything we can to defend against number 47. He'll have one more chance to beat us, and that's into the fantastic, iconic gear timber chicane. So here we go. Hard on the brakes. Do we defend well? We've done it. Look at that beautiful apex. Beautiful second apex. We've done it. We are victorious on board the BMW. Finally, after 6 races, we stand on the top step with the BMW. So guys, that's that then. We get our first victory with Bassani and Jonathan Rea to share the podium. So 3 manufacturers in the top 3. What an intense fight, and I'm so pleased to get that victory. It feels like a long time coming, but regarding the round, just missing out by a point. So we took 47 points, which will be good for our championship cause, but we did lose a point to Axel Bassani. So we didn't win in the round, but we are now just 28 points behind Alvaro Bautista, as Michael Ruben Rinaldi in second with 82 points, and Bassani in 4th, 42 points behind Alvaro Bautista. So a look at the Constructors' Championship. Ducati lead the way, 41 points clear from us on BMW, 57 clear from Honda. But guys, that is it from me. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, let me know in the comments section down below, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and even consider becoming a member of the DrAce Pit Crew. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.